Hello, this is Tom and Chris, we're those film guys, and welcome to a very special Bonfire Night review. We'll be taking a look at the 2005 dystopian thriller directed by James McTeague, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, McTeague.
And based on Alan Moore's and David Lloyd's graphic novel V For Vendetta, which was directed, no, I just said it was directed by, it was written by the Wachowskis.
The screenplay was, yeah, the graphic novel, as you just said.
Formerly known as the Wachowski brothers.
Yeah.
Or were referred to as the Wachowski brothers, but now one of them's had a sex change, and yeah, so that's another kettle of fish entirely. But on to V For Vendetta. The film. Now, before we start, I'm going to have to apologise for some sound seeping through into the recording this review, because below me in the room I live in is a man or someone I live with who does play music quite loudly. So just a word of warning on that one.
And also, I'd just like to add as well that if you hear any bangs in the background, that is because it is Bonfire Night, so rockets will be exploding outside my window.
It is Bonfire Night when we're recording this, so good. Right.
On to the review. On to the review.
On to the review. Now, actually, another thing before we start is that Alan Moore doesn't associate himself with any of his work that's been adapted on screen.
No.
At all. Which I think that's fine. But I mean, like I can understand with Watchmen, because man, I hated that film.
Well, I really like Watchmen, but that's an entirely different review. I think, for the most part, it's merited. I mean, some films like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I mean, God, that film was horrible. It was nothing like the graphic novel either. But, yeah,
I quite liked it.
It was okay, but I mean, from a creative standpoint, I can see why Alan Moore really resents it.
Yeah.
No, I like Watchmen, and it's also a shame when really good films come out, like V For Vendetta as well, because I really love this film. It's probably up there in some of my favourite films of all time.
Yeah. We may be a bit rusty, because it has been a while since we actually properly sat down and watched it. So right, let's get started. It's As we said, it's a 2005 dystopian thriller about a character named V, played by Hugo Weaving, and it also has Natalie Portman in it as Evie Hammond, John Hurt as the villain, and you know John Hurt is brilliant in pretty much everything he's in.
Yeah, I agree. He's a great actor, and he's brilliant in this as well. He hams it up a lot, but he's great.
Yeah. Oh, and it's got Stephen Fry, and I'm not particularly keen on Stephen Fry, the actor.
Yeah, I was going to ask you your point on that. We'll start off with the most minor character of the entire film, but we'll work our way back to the other ones. But yeah, especially with the new Sherlock Holmes film that came out, you said to me that you really dislike Stephen Fry as an actor. What did you think of him in this?
I still can't get over the fact that it looks like it's Stephen Fry, so that's all I see. I don't see someone else, and I think that's the problem, that I don't think he's going to be able to. That me personally, I don't think he's going to be able to get around. That him being Stephen Fry and being so popular,
yeah,
and being really recognisable on television on like QI and stuff like that. It's quite a shame, really, because that's all I really see him as. Not to fault his acting, but that's just how I perceive him as when he's on screen. He's just Stephen Fry in a film. He doesn't strike me as being a different character, but that's maybe because he's so recognisable on like quiz shows and things like that.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I remember when I first watched this film, because I didn't watch it as soon as it came out. It was quite a few years after the fact that I actually got around to watching this on TV. And I remember when it got to the introduction of his character, I was like, is that Stephen Fry? Is he in the superhero film? What the hell is this? But so I did. After I got over that, I did actually think he was pretty good in the role. I thought he brought a very nice personality and character and area to the film that it delves into. And we won't get into spoilers just yet. But yeah, I thought he was. I thought he was really good in it. In fact. But...
Yeah, but I think that's probably one of my only problems with the film is that Stephen Fry just seems to be Stephen Fry on screen.
Yeah, he doesn't change his typical mannerisms all that much.
But I mean, that's not a fault of the way he acts. I think it's a fault with the way I perceive him, and that's a personal problem. I think it's. But yeah, I just couldn't get over that.
Yeah. Was a bit strange, but anyway, we'll go to the main guy now. Pretty much, Hugo Weaving as V. I think Hugo Weaving is amazing.
He is
in pretty much everything he's in. Even if it's a bad film, he is usually the best thing in it.
Like Transformers.
But yeah, here I'm assuming he did, but I'm not sure whether he actually acted as V or if he just supplied the voice. I'm assuming he did both. I wasn't able to find that out. I didn't watch any interviews or anything. But no, Hugo Weaving in this film, man, he is. Some of the lines he had to memorise, especially the one in his introduction where he basically gives a huge monologue with every word beginning with V.
Yeah. Yeah, I did quite enjoy that, and it's just a shame that now the group, and sort of going off topic a little bit, the group Anonymous has now taken the mask, which I think was there before the film as merchandise, has now taken the mask into their sort of domain and use it for their sort of hacking purposes and sort of trying to stop Scientology and all that good stuff.
Well, actually, David Lloyd, the one who illustrated the comic, I've got a quote here. He said that the Guy Fawkes mask has now become a common brand and a convenient placard to use in protest against tyranny. And I'm happy with people using it. It seems quite unique, an icon of popular culture being used this way. So, obviously, he endorses the use of the image.
Yeah, and no, it is a good.
It's a powerful image when you see it now. It's kind of unnerving, especially with groups such as Anonymous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it does say a lot about the culture we live in. Like, I mean, the fact that Guy Fawkes, you know, we celebrate that he tried to blow up Parliament, but he went to an extreme measure to bring down unsavoury types.
Yeah. And that's a message I think's effectively conveyed in this film, because most things, I've heard most people nowadays actually saying, why do we celebrate Bonfire Night? Is essentially just an anarchist and a terrorist, but I think this film kind of shows a different side to that and a different meaning that Guy Fawkes was trying to bring about.
Yeah, the change.
Yeah.
And essentially, it is all about that, and him trying to bring down some sort of.
It's basically a totalitarian government.
Yeah.
Run by John Hurt and a bunch of his lackeys, who are also good actors, but for the life of me, I can't remember their names. But I see them in a lot of things, and they're all great actors too. But one thing I really like about this film, actually, is that it can endure in a lot of modern day instances. I mean, I know that the film goes quite a long way away from the source material in terms of its setting and time span. I think it was set in the 90s, the comic book was. But here it's set in 2030. And there are a lot of messages in this film that I think you could convey to even today with the unrest of people in the UK and, in fact, all over the world, really.
Yeah, and I mean that's really like. I mean, people didn't like it because of the changes to the comics, which is a reason I didn't. Which is the complete opposite reason to why I didn't like Watchmen. Because that was too close to the comics that I might as well have just read the comic instead of watched the film.
Yeah.
But here I think it's I like how it not that I've actually read the comic.
No, neither have I.
But I am familiar with what some fans dislike to it because of how it's changed. But surely that's a good thing. Because you don't want it to be exactly like the comic books.
No, I agree, and I think
the
direction it went, as I said, it makes it more relevant to an audience, especially nowadays. And it proves that even if you do change the setting and, well, really not the tone, but just the setting and the way that the narrative forms, if you keep the core meaning of what the graphic novel set out to do and incorporate some of the same characters, then you can still have a great film. It may not be a completely faithful adaptation, but it's faithful in the sense that it stays in keeping with the message and the overall core meaning.
Yeah.
And I think that's where most graphic novel films fall down. I mean, you could argue that Nolan's, not to go into all these again, but the Nolan Batman films, they're not particularly faithful to the source material 100%, but they, for the most part, keep to the core of the character, or the core meaning of the character of Batman. So I think that's one of the strengths of V for Vendetta as a film.
Yeah, and I like how that meaning is conveyed throughout the film. I mean, it's not so heavy-handed that it becomes the only thing you're interested in. You see, because like for example, the Matrix sequels, which were written by the Wachowskis, those were so heavy-handed in sort of conveying ideas and philosophy.
Oh yeah,
that it forgot about the sort of action character stuff it did in the first film, which I think is commendable here, because the ideas are there, they're noticeable, but it doesn't detract from good character development and a solid story.
Absolutely, and even there's minor characters in this film that get a lot of screen time. Should we go into spoilers a bit now, or shall...
Yeah.
Right, okay, spoiler warning everyone. If you haven't seen V for Vendetta and you really would quite like to watch it, then turn this review off now, because we'll be flitting through spoilers here and there. Bottom line, I love the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like the film too.
It is a very, very good film. But spoilers, not that I'll remember anything that happens.
But yeah, as I was saying about the minor characters, there's a scene in this film where Evie is abducted and she doesn't know by who, and she's thrown in this jail cell and she has her hair shaved and she is pretty much starved and thrown in front of an interrogation every day. And
which I must say is a, you know, Natalie Portman with her head shaved is still a good looking Natalie Portman. Just to be juvenile and throw that out there.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And you know, this film proved to me that Natalie Portman can really act when she has the material to work with. I mean,
and not being dull and boring and having crap material like The Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones.
Well, the entire prequels, really.
Yeah. All the entire prequels.
And I mean, obviously, people praised her for Black Swan as well, but this came out way before then, and I think she's great in this film, and especially this scene where she's imprisoned, and there's a minor character who she kind of has communication with through letters which are posted through the side of a cell, And this scene goes on for about 10-15 minutes, and it could be a short film in itself, really. It's a really great character building moment, and it packs a lot of emotion. And it just shows that Natalie Portman, when she's given material, she can hold her own as an actress.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, and I like how that scene plays out and how it looks. I mean, it like you said, it does go on, but that's not. But that doesn't feel like it goes on for ages because of how good the thing with films that do this. Like I'm using 127 Hours as an example. That's sort of the extreme 90 minutes with only one actor in it, and trapped in one place. It really forces the actor to sort of do what they're paid for and act, which I think is really commendable here in that scene with Natalie Portman in prison, because it forces her because she's not having any dialogue with anybody or with very few people. It forces her to not pull any punches and just go for it.
Yeah, I completely agree, and it also shows that she is a really dedicated actress to a role that she gets, that she can really engage with. I mean, she literally did shave her hair. That wasn't a hairpiece or anything. She literally did go for that, and I think she did lose a considerable amount of weight for it to show like the wasted condition she was in. And Black Swan as well. She took obviously all the ballet classes and lost even more weight for that. So, yeah, when you watch films like this, you just wish that Natalie Portman was just given more material like this, because I think she has been given a bit of a bad, well, not bad reputation, but just kind of like looked down upon. And it's just a real shame sometimes.
It sort of gets given the short end of the stick.
Well,
especially from George.
Yeah, I was going to say the prequel Star Wars films didn't really help, did they? But
no, but I like that she's sort of moving away from those, or she's starting to find work that isn't that bad. No. But yeah, I'm really, Natalie Portman, I've always thought was great, but wasted in certain roles. But here she proves that she can really, for the people who, for people who were doubtful. Who watched Heat and thought this girl in Heat cannot act, or watched Leon the Professional, thought, man, well, actually no, Leon the Professional she was rather good in, even if she was a child actress. Leon the Professional, I'm thinking of Natalie Portman, Leon the Professional. Damn, I'm really off the ball today in terms of film.
You
Leon.
got it.
Jean Reno, Gary Oldman, and Natalie Portman.
Oh, you were right. It was. Okay.
Have
faith in yourself, Tom. Just go with it.
I've completely lost it. And she was in Heat. Yeah. I knew that.
But another thing with Natalie Portman's character in this that I really like is the parallels that are drawn between her and V. I mean, practically have exactly the same name, V and Evie. But yeah, they draw a lot of it. It's like, especially when we're given the backstory of V, when he was part of this, this kind of like, I think he's part of like a biological weapons testing thing. They're like in prison, lots of people were testing things on them, and all the shady people kind of caught up in it. And when he raises the prison to the ground with fire, he kind of holds his arms outstretched and like embraces the fire and the freedom. And then when Evie finds out that when she was imprisoned, it was actually V who did it as a kind of test to like strengthen her character and make her numb against the violent government. She holds her arms outstretched when she steps outside in the rain, and it's just moments like that that I'm all for, like parallels in films or images that are mirrored between characters. And we talked about this in our Batman Begins review with Ra's al Ghul and Bruce Wayne being mirrored kind of characters. And I just really love that in films. It adds like a whole nother depth to their characterizations, and just it's almost straight out of a comic book, like panels that look exactly the same in like drawn.
Yeah, but I do like that, but I mean they are different people in terms of their philosophies and the way they think.
Well, V does kind of like bring Evie to his. Well, that's the whole film, really. He brings her to his way of thinking. And then she almost, at the end of the film, becomes the new V when V is killed at the end. And she brings about.
But I mean, it's like going, you know, like in Batman. If Bruce Wayne actually did kill that guy at the beginning of Batman Begins, you know, what a totally different set of events that would have been.
Yeah.
It's sort of like that, but I mean, yeah, she does get the chance to be the new V. And
I know we've said this, but V is great in this film, and I just love the fact that Hugo Weaving recently, just to go off on a tangent, has just been bashing every film he's been in that he hated being in, like Transformers and Captain America.
Which I liked.
I didn't really like Captain America, but Hugo Weaving was great in it as Red Skull.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, but yeah, I mean it is a good dramatical piece, and you can look at it from multiple perspectives of how well it blends its ideas with its emotions and its characters, and I mean, what more can I say than that? It's
I mean, all the characters are given great depth. Now, you could argue that the kind of villainous government in it, especially John Hurt's character and a few of his lackeys, aren't really fleshed out in terms of they're all quite one-dimensional villains. It's like The Crow. You're meant to hate the villains in it. You're meant to side with the good guys of V and Evie, although what they do is morally questionable. But there is one kind of lackey, a woman who was, I think she was did plant research or just like medical research there. And there's a really great scene where V comes to execute her because he's working his way through the list of all people that imprisoned him and tortured loads of people. But he doesn't outright kill her like he does the other people in a horrible way. He kind of gives her an injection so she doesn't feel any pain. And it shows that although V is completely unmoving in the task that he wants to carry out, it shows that he does have a human side, and he does kind of not want to put this woman through as much misery.
Yeah, and it does show that he's, you know, he does value life, even though he sort of goes around killing people, and that he has essentially he's not the twisted sort of terrorist that we think he is.
No, because you do kind of you do gravitate towards the goal he ultimately wants to bring about, the change he wants to bring into the government and society in general, and to wake people up from apathy and to make a stand for their country. And I think that's a great message that still carries over today.
Yeah.
But
I can't fight apathy as just a man.
It's all these parallels to Batman.
As a man, I can be broken, I can be destroyed, but as a symbol,
I can be everlasting. And that's exactly what V is. V is this symbol.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who plays V or who is V.
Yeah, and that's demonstrated in the ending, where even though he dies, all the people walk out into London and with their V masks on. And in that ending, which is one of my favourite film endings of all time, where V's body is transported on the underground subway and crashes and detonates the Houses of Parliament and blows up Big Ben. That is, to me, that is just a great end. And then to the 1812 Overture as well. That by Tchaikovsky. It's just a great scene in my opinion, and it effectively sums up the film in the ending.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
I can't remember whether the film was incredibly successful. I know it made its budget back. Here it was done on a budget of 54 million, and it made 132 million, about 132.5 million.
I'd say that was a successful.
Like, although it's based on a comic book, it doesn't seem to be talked about a lot by people, from what I've seen.
Maybe not, but you know, it is one that I think will be remembered, and I think it is one that will grow as people sort of come back to old films, old cinema. I mean, this was a fairly recent release, but still, in like, you don't know, in 10 years' time, people may come back and sort of look at it and go, "Wow, that really is a great work."
Yeah, I think it is. I think the material in it is malleable enough to do that, because I think it can resonate to a lot of areas in modern society and possibly future society as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I haven't got very much to say.
Neither have I. I think we've covered our bases
on the subject of V For Vendetta.
Well, that's really all I can say.
Yeah.
Great acting, great action as well. The action's great in this film. I love the style that it goes for, especially when V fights. Great depth to character, and an amazing story that can last through generations almost.
Yeah, I do agree, and I mean that's really all I got to say. I've just summed it up. You've just summed it up for me, really. So yeah, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and we'll be doing a new marathon. A new one. We've got a few planned, but yeah, you'll have to wait and see what those are.
Through one recommendation of one of our viewers. So
yeah, there are clues. We do talk about the marathon in this review.
Yeah. So.
Cryptic
metaphor.
But yeah, so anyway, rate, comment, subscribe as per usual, and you know, thanks for watching our special Bonfire Night review of V For Vendetta.
Remember the 5th of November.
Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you.